So there's more updates in the New York trial against Donald Trump. Again, this is for the overinflation of his assets. It's just to see what the damages are, because the judge has already found him liable for that financial fraud. And there was some kind of spicy moments in the courtroom, including Donald Trump smacking his hands on the table. So how did it happen? So it's all started with a real estate brokerage executive named Doug Larson, who was an appraiser for Trump properties for lenders. And he was taken aback when told on the stand that he was repeatedly cited as an outside expert in former Trump organization controller Jeffrey McConney's valuation spreadsheet. So his name is invoked. He didn't know that. He says on the stand, it's inappropriate and inaccurate. I should have been told, and an appraisal should have been ordered. So for example, when it came to valuing a storefront known as Nike Town, McConney, this is the controller, relied on rates of return for a different type of property rather than for a comparable retail space. Larson testified. He also said he appraised a Trump-owned Wall Street building at only 540 mil, while McConney valued it at 735.4 mil on Trump's financial statement. So he's there. He is a witness for the prosecution right there. He's saying, look, yes, I advised him. I didn't advise him on this particular instance. How dare they? I did on this one. They overinflated it by $200 million, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is when Trump gets big mad. Apparently, he then had to be warned by the judge. Here's how it went down. He was accused, however, of Doug Larson on the stand is accused of lying, and it seems like he might have. When he testified that back in 2013, he never had a discussion with the Trump executive about a particular way of setting a value to one of Trump's skyscrapers. Trump appeared to be following the appraiser's testimony closely, and minutes earlier, he had caused some tumult by audibly reacting. Trump could be heard whispering angrily to the lawyers on either side of him. At one point, he hit the wooden defense desk with both of his hands. A lawyer for Letitia James, the state attorney general, objected without naming Trump to the quote exhortations coming from the defense table that prompted the judge, State Supreme Court Justice Arthur Engoron, to ask that there be no further exhortations, particularly if it was meant to influence the testimony. So he was pissed, Trump's pissed, because it seems like Larson was caught in a little bit of a lie, potentially. It seems like the lies are floating both ways here. What was the lie? Trump's defense lawyer, Lazaro Fields, in this cross-examination on Wednesday, had copies of emails that Larson sent to McConney, the controller, basically saying like, look, you did advise us on this particular issue. You said you didn't. And because let's go back. According to Insider, on Tuesday, Larson answered, no, I did not. When a lawyer for the Attorney General asked, did you work with Mr. McConney in 2013 to determine a cap rate that he used to value this property? You lied yesterday, didn't you? Fields shouted at the appraiser, continuing to wave a stack of emails in his hand. I did not. That's what I recall, the appraiser answered, as more than one of the Attorney General's lawyers half rose from their seat to shout objection. So again, there's no honor among thieves. These are a lot of, this is a lot of the same kind of muck, right? This guy Larson, he appraised certain properties, he didn't others. It seems like maybe Trump's lawyer Fields did catch him in a lie because he's got emails to prove that he did appraise him. Drama, drama, drama. I'm just waiting for the TV, like rendition of this. Then Trump's lead lawyer, however, after all this, stood from his seat and interrupted the exchange by insisting the appraiser was in need of legal protection. And from a perjury charge, quote, he has the right to consult with his counsel, Your Honor. I think he needs to be advised as to potential perjury. And then Larson gets escorted out, and it's very, very dramatic. But Mondale, I like this for the drama effect. I'm lost, as I think these gentlemen are lost in the details of who, what, why, where, and when they appraise certain properties. But I think all of these things can be true, right? Yes, you appraised some properties. Yes, they overinflated how much you appraised it for.
Yeah, I think the theater here was I feel like the state's attorney office missed an opportunity here to come back and re-question their witness and set things straight. So the question that Trump's attorney screamed across the courtroom was actually one that could have set himself up to be slam dunk. The question was, did you work with Trump's team, the comptroller, to come to these the terms of the numbers of this property? And the witness's response was, no, I didn't. All the state attorney had to say was, why didn't you? And he could have said, well, they inflated the numbers. I didn't help them come to those numbers. And I think that's where they missed the ball at. So it could have been that, yeah, he was lying, but you could have easily cleaned this up with the fact that Trump's team inflated the numbers that I gave them. So that's not me working with them. They did not take my advice. So I think, like you said, this right here is something that Trump will run with, but Trump runs with anything, even when he shouldn't.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.